This is the Bull Session, a weekly recap of your 2025 Philadelphia Phillies. Broadcasting live from Chickies and Pete's, tonight's show is brought to you by Team Toyota, BCWSA, Fogo de Show, Penn Community Bank, Chickies and Pete's, and the Capitol Grill Center City. Now, here are your hosts, Phillies Director of Fun and Games, John Brazer, and Mickey Morandini.
All right, welcome to the Bull Session presented by BCWSA, live from Chickies and Pizza, South Philadelphia. I'm John Brazer, Director of Fun and Games of Fightin' Phils, and joined by my co-host Mickey Morandini.
Oh, you didn't say it.
Mickey Morandini. And Mick, we're going to have your double play partner on in a little bit. He's running a little late. I think there's some bad traffic out there.
I'm just a little tired of traffic and construction.
You were stuck in that traffic, too. I thought it was going to be the John Brazer show without
really old.
Yeah, well, we're going to have a great show because we're going to talk to your former double play partner, shortstop for the 93 World Series team, and current radio analyst on the Fightin' Phils radio, Kevin Stocker. It's been great, by the way. Do you listen to a lot of radio when you're?
When I'm in the car in the game zone, I do. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think Kevin's really come into his own. Gives really good analysis. His repertoire, his relationship with Fransky is great. Right? Just gotta. He's kind of funny.
Throws a little humor in there.
Throws a little humor in there, but he gives a really good insight. So can't wait to talk to him about what it's like working with Scott Fransky and. But, yeah, we'll go through that. But while we're waiting, first of all, before we get into baseball, you golfed a couple holes with Gary Player, the legendary golfer from South Africa. How was that?
I did. He had a little tournament at Liberty Hills yesterday and got to meet him. He turned 90,
Wow.
and he still hits the ball like 200, 220 yards.
Does he really?
So, no, he's got a beautiful swing.
I was going to say perfectly straight.
Beautiful swing, straight, but really nice guy, and he's only about like 5'9". I think he won over 150 tournaments, 8 majors, but it was a lot of fun. It was fun playing a couple holes with him.
And you and Dickie Knowles were out there?
Dickie was he didn't play with me, but Dickie was out there too, and it was a great day.
And you're not on the DL. You're basically kind of you're not officially on the DL, but you're kind of day to day.
We're playing through it.
Playing through it.
I got a little golf elbow, a little sore. But
yeah, because I thought you had Irma's sock on right there. No,
I don't know what it is. It's all for my mental state.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of mental state, Mickey, you wouldn't want to be anywhere near me yesterday because I don't know if you've really watched a game. Have you ever watched a game with me? I'm not exactly the most calm, rational person.
Not.
Well, if you watched the game yesterday, obviously the weekend was, it just get us out of D.C. Yeah. There's nothing good happens in D.C. And I tell you what, the Friday night you get the scare, big-time scare, when Paul DeJong hits the line drive off Duran's ankle. And I don't know about you, but we didn't know that night what then it was like early morning where we got a text that the X-rays, or not text, tweet, that the X-rays that went negative. And obviously he pitched yesterday, so he's good. So big relief there. Again, up and down series as far as great offense and then terrible offense. And good pitching, terrible pitching. Yeah. And then even yesterday, you get up 6-0. I'm on the beach because I had to do a radio show. I had a radio show, post-game show at Keenan's yesterday. And it was 6-0 Fightin' Phils. Alec Boehm, right? 3-run home run. You're feeling great. They're going to do this for wheels, right? And then I couldn't listen to the game because it was on delay, so I was trying to find it. I had it on the app, and next thing you know, it's hit, walk, hit, double. Next thing you know, it's 6-6. And I'm completely, I think I just, everyone on the beach hated me. So then I had to go to the game, and then I see we're up 8-6, and then I see we're up 11-6, and then I said, all right, now I'm driving to Keenan's to do the radio show with Tommy Green, and I get there, and I'm thinking, I'm all relaxed. I'm thinking, like, all right, game, what's going on with the game? Whoa, hold on here, it's 11-9, and then you got a guy on second with 1 out, and Duran gets, the ground ball, and then we got James Wood up to bat, who's got like 27 home runs, right, against the power pitchers, and one swing away from tying it up, which thankfully it didn't happen, and thankfully my sanity is restored. So, But what do you think? I mean, obviously the the Zach Wheeler situation. I mean, we don't know. We're not going to know until they thoroughly do all the tests. You know, it's a little scary when you think about it. You know, whether it's arterial or whether it's venal. You know, whether it came through the veins. I guess from build up from pitching so much. And it's happened before. Otto Kemp had it.
Okay.
I don't know if you knew that. Had it.
I did not.
Yeah, Otto Kemp had it. And I guess the best case scenario would be that basically it's, again, I guess venal, not arterial, and it's a blood clot that can be dissolved by blood thinners and medication, and then who knows? Maybe he comes back. Worst case scenario would be, he can't pitch this year or, God forbid, going forward.
Right.
But obviously the big thing is his health.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it's a huge blow. But it's not a huge blow if Nola and Suarez are the normal Nola and Suarez.
Pitches like first half Suarez, not second half Suarez.
But, yeah, it's a huge blow. He's your stopper. He's your number one guy. But, yeah, his health is the most important thing. I wouldn't expect him to pitch in the regular season, rest of the regular season. Because I think I've heard when you do blood thinners, you still can't pitch on blood thinners. So you got to let it, get off the blood thinners, and by the time you do all that.
So is that because, and I've been on blood thinners before, and believe me, I played tennis. I play that sport, paddle tennis, where you actually can crash against 11-foot chicken wire fence, and if you bleed, you get a scrape or you bump against something, or the bruising is pretty apparent, and again, I guess the danger would be if, for instance, if he was in the situation Joanne Duran had, and he gets that line ball off his foot, and that's where then all of a sudden you're on blood thinners. Well, that's going to could be trouble.
Yeah, and we know the Phillies don't take chances like that. They're very cautious in their pitchers and the players. So, best case scenario for me is, he's probably not going to pitch at all or throw a ball during this whole time. So even if he's better in 3 weeks, he's going to need another 2-3 weeks just to ramp back up and get some, pitch counts up, which by that time it's going to be October. So best case scenario for me is he's ready for October.
Well, yeah.
Which is not a bad thing because this will give him some rest.
And
he's thrown a lot of pitches and innings.
Well, let's keep our fingers crossed. Let's say our prayers. Let's hope that everything works out. And as you said, we need Noel to step up. We need Ranger. We need everybody. Sanchez, everybody. Now, the good news is you do know he's struggled a little bit in AAA, but Andrew Painter is kind of lurking down there. If we wanted to go to a 6-man rotation or if someone goes on that IL, one of our other players. But so you have that. You got another guy, Griff McGarry. Griff McGarry he's had 2 really good outings at AA. He's the guy that's got tremendous stuff. He's got great strikeout stuff, but he also can be a little wild. But his last 2 outings, he's on the 40-man roster. Who knows? You could have that. And you also have that Alan Rangel, who's started before, bullpen. Who knows? I mean, you're going to have to kind of piecemeal it. You're going to have to kind of just, right?
Yeah. You just pretty much one game at a time now. The good thing is we're up 5.5 games, so we got a little bit of cushion there. What's the first-round draft pick's name this year?
For this year.
Yeah, what's his name? I forget his name.
Wood. Gage Wood.
Gage Wood. I don't know what their plans are for him.
Wow,
but
I didn't even think
you
about
could
him.
even keep bringing him up for a spot start if you had to and see what you got,
Well, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, but, I wouldn't mind them going to a 6-man rotation right now and maybe bring Painter up. But, it's really nice to see Taijuan Walker pitch well. He's been really good.
You have to give that guy so much
Absolutely.
credit. For someone that was last year beleaguered, he did not have a great year, to say the least. And fans are tough as we can be. And he just powered through it. He was going up. He's moved from the bullpen and starting rotation back to bullpen, starting rotation, back and forth. All he's done is what's been asked of him, and he has been one of our more reliable pitchers, right? He's last year he gave up a lot of home run balls.
Right.
He really hasn't done that. Again, knock on wood. But he has been a solid starter.
He's been great, and he just hasn't had any run support.
Right.
He'd probably have 8 to 10 wins by now.
Exactly right. Now, some weird stats for the team. Did you know, they mentioned this on the broadcast last night. I wanted to talk to Kevin, and we will when he gets here, that the Phillies record when Schwarber hits a home run, okay, they're 30-10. It's pretty good.
That's not bad. Yeah.
Right? It's pretty good. How about the record when Schwarber does not hit a home run? 40-43. So obviously, if he hits a home run, you're going to have.
We need him to hit more home runs, right?
Well, I think it's awesome. We might need him to sign, right?
Well,
to resign.
that would help too,
right?
yes.
Because we don't want that record, but that I mentioned when
Right.
we don't have him hit a home run.
Right.
Did you watch the Little League World Series game last night? Not the Major League game, Mets versus Seattle.
Bits and pieces.
Did you see where the Alonso, the polar bear, struck out, and all the Little Leaguers from Upper? I'm going to butcher this. Is it Uckland? It's from Chester County. They're Philly. Theoretically, they're Phillies fans. They grew up in Chester County. Look at them. They're all like booing him and yelling at him as he's coming back. And they're right near the Phillies or the
funny.
Mets dugout. They were absolutely killing him, which was pretty funny. Some other stuff that I wanted to get through. On the broadcast last night, Manfred was on, and he was talking about realignment, that would be more geographical. So this is Jim Bowden's proposed. He didn't go into specifics. He just said it's going to be geographical, right?
Right.
Well, the problem could be, and they can go all over the map, but if they're going to do East, well, that means it'd be 4 teams in each one. There'd be 4 in the National League, 4 in the, or I guess they call it the Eastern Conference and Western Conference.
Okay.
So in the East, it would be Red Sox, Mets, Yankees, Phillies. That's
a pretty good division.
Well, yeah. Right? Well, compare that to this one. Now, Jim Bowden supposes that there's expansion in Nashville. Okay. So he says in the Southeast it would be Braves, Marlins, Nashville, and the Rays. Well, I want to be in that one.
Yes.
Right. And then you got the Mid-Atlantic would be Orioles, Charlotte, another expansion. Again, this is Jim Bowden. Pirates and Nationals. I want to be in that one too.
Yeah, I'd be in. Yeah.
Right. And the North would be Reds, Guardians, Tigers, Blue Jays. Now that's tough, right?
Right.
It's all good teams, but the big spending ones are us. Like Red Sox spend a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
Mets spend a lot of money. Yankees spend a lot of money, and Phillies. So they're putting all the big guys in that.
Why don't they split the USA in half?
Right.
And then make this one division, make that one division.
Just
take
one
the top
big
6 teams in
just
each
one
division.
big division. Not. All right.
Top 3 teams, get a bye or whatever.
Right.
Record-wise, next 3 are wild cards, and go from there.
Okay.
That's my proposal.
Well, here are the other ones. So in the Midwest, it would be Cubs, White Sox, Brewers, and Twins. It's a good one.
Not bad.
I mean, yeah. Obviously
bad.
Cubs and Brewers would be the. Then the Southwest would be Astros, Royals, Cardinals, Rangers.
Pretty good.
Again, that's pretty good. Pacific Coast would be Rockies, Athletics, Mariners, Giants. Top heavy.
Right.
And the Mariners, Giants.
Right.
And then the West would be the Diamondbacks, Angels, Dodgers, Padres, which wouldn't be much different other than the Angels coming
most
in.
of those would be pretty competitive other than the 2 East Coast ones, I think.
Yeah, like
overall.
ours is
by
far.
By far.
Right. So if you're going to have one, it depends on how they would do this. You would have to say whoever wins the division gets in, and then you go to wild cards. But again, if we're playing those teams theoretically more than other
you're
teams,
playing them probably 20 times or something.
Right, and that puts us in a really bad spot. So, well, that'll be interesting. And then the other interesting thing is the labor agreement is up after the 2026 season. So, this would have to, in just regular times, this would have to be approved through the players union.
Right.
And there's already going to be some, potential issues with the players union with everything that's going on. So I don't know when he's proposing this to happen, but
I think we just put Bryce and Manfred in a room by themselves.
How about that, right? Right. Put a Tani in there too.
Yeah.
Right? And then they can
they can iron it out.
And they can figure out what they're going to do. All right. And one last thing, okay? So someone, Sarah Lang, who's a really good writer, really good stats out of Major League Baseball, they talked about every Major League team's largest contract. Just going to give you a couple. So I want you to tell me who has the largest contract for that team.
Oh, gosh.
Okay? Well, I'm not going to give you the obvious, like, the Mets obviously want Soto, Dodgers, Ohtani.
Right.
I
was hoping you'd give me the obvious.
Yeah, the Angels are Trout and the Yankees are Judge, right?
Right.
But let's see if you can tell me The Twins. Who's got the largest contract for the Twins?
I don't know anybody on the Twins.
Well, you say probably Byron Buxton,
Byron
right?
Buxton, maybe.
But
yeah,
it's not. It's
center
Carlos Correa, who signed a 6-year.
But he got traded. He just got traded to Houston.
He did. So I wonder how much that got transferred.
Maybe.
All right. How about Milwaukee?
Oh, Jews. I don't know a lot of players on their team either.
Christian Yelich.
Oh, Yelich, sure.
7 years, 188.5.
Okay.
I'll give you 2 more. The Cubs. You're not going to get this one.
It's got to be that Japanese pitcher.
You're not going to get this one. No, you're right. Not Sanga. Right. Amanaga, was that his name?
Yeah. Is he it?
No, it's Jason Hayward.
Oh, come on.
Yes.
He's still getting paid?
Yes. He signed an 8-year, $184 million contract.
He's out of baseball now, isn't he?
I don't know. You don't hear his name.
Let's hope he's out of baseball.
All right. I'll give you one more. Let's see. Some of these, they're not even playing for these teams. So, all right. The last one would be the Rays. And this guy's not playing. It's Wander Franco because he's in trouble.
Oh, he's in jail. Or
yeah,
something.
11. Well, I wonder if that gets rescinded for them.
Oh, I'm sure it does.
Right?
There's a
moral clause, whatever.
Absolutely.
All right, coming up on the show, we're hoping to talk to Kevin Stocker if he can get through traffic. So anybody who's in Kevin Stocker's way, please get out of the way and make room for him to get to Chickies and Pete's here. We'll be coming back. Hopefully, Kevin Stocker, you're listening to the Bull Session presented by BCWSA. We are live from Chickies and Pete's in South Philadelphia.
Hi, it's Pete from Chicky Pete's. Our selection of seasonal cocktails make any meal better. Come sip and enjoy our bourbon cherry lemonade, made with small batch bourbon, muddled fruits, and refreshing juices. What a winner! Is fruit your flavor? Try a watermelon shandy cocktail. A smoky grapefruit with mezcal and fresh lime. Or sip and enjoy a very berry martini. All pair perfectly with our seasonal menu features. Come sip and enjoy at Chickies and Pete's.
Head out to Dion Square, located at South Oxford Valley and South Olds Boulevard, to get all your essentials in one place, with the following businesses ready to serve you: Pat Dion Beverages, CVS Pharmacy, Hair Cuttery, Smile Culture Dental, Biomat, Liberty Auto Tags, Pennsylvania Fine Wine and Spirits, Lee's Hoagie House, R&J Smoothies and Juices, AutoZone, and First National Bank and Trust of Newtown. Make Dion Square your one stop for all your shopping needs at South Oxford Valley Road and South Olds Boulevard in Fairless Hills.
With over 7,200 square feet of 200 brewers in stock at all times, Pat Dion Beverages now features 5 different flavors of their favorite slushy cocktails. You can also purchase all your wine, liquor, and other fine spirits right next door. Visit us on Facebook or online at patdionbeverages.com for upcoming events and samples from your favorite brewery or local food vendor.
Think banking hasn't changed? Think again. At Penn Community Bank, we've been helping communities thrive for 150 years. From our nationally recognized Access Checking that offers the peace of mind of no overdrafts, to student and free checking plus options with perks that will make you wonder what you did without them, like early direct deposit, overdraft grace, and Zelle. Learn more at penncommunitybank.com/products. Penn Community Bank. Here we grow. Account and feature terms, restrictions, and conditions apply. Ask for full details. Member FDIC.
Hi, it's Pete from Chicky Pete's. Our selection of seasonal cocktails make any meal better. Come sip and enjoy our bourbon cherry lemonade, made with small batch bourbon, muddled fruits, and refreshing juices. What a winner! Is fruit your flavor? Try a watermelon shandy cocktail. A smoky grapefruit with mezcal and fresh lime. Or sip and enjoy a very berry martini. All pair perfectly with our seasonal menu features. Come sip and enjoy at Chickies and Pete's.
We now return to Chickies and Pete's for the Bull Session. Once again, here are your hosts, Phillies Director of Fun and Games, John Brazer, and Mickey Morandini.
All right, we are back to the Bull Session presented by BCWSA, live from Chickies and Pete's in South Philadelphia. I'm John Brazer, joined by my co-host, Mickey Morandini, and I was told by our guest that he's going to be here in 2 minutes. Well, he's going to pull into the parking lot in 2 minutes, Kevin Stocker. So before we get to Kevin, Mick, we got about 6 weeks left, right? I think there's 38 games
38
left.
Yep.
We actually have a lot more home games than away, which is good. And we're going to hit a lot of these coming up right now because we have Seattle today, in the next 2 days. We do miss that Brandon Wu, who's been one of their best pitchers.
Okay.
Now, we do get Kirby. I think we're going to get Gilbert. So we'll get some good pitchers. But when we get the big dumper, too, and Suarez. Look at that. You got Harper, Schwarber, the big dumper, and Suarez in one big in one series.
There might be some home runs hit.
There could be some home runs hit. So be very exciting. And then we got the Nationals again. I think hopefully we'll take the Nationals seriously.
Right.
They've got some good young talent, again, but they're really young. So we should take care of the business if we're doing that. So we are 5 games up on the Mets. And, again, the Mets are kind of imploding, but we could have really buried them if we, done a little better. But still, you got to keep going forward. But I do like our chances, again, regardless of the Wheeler situation. 5-game lead with 6 weeks left, 38 games, and again, a lot of home games. And our schedule, if you look at, it's funny, at the end of the season, you know who we play? I looked at the
last series is Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Yeah.
Now, Minnesota, it's funny that I was thinking, all right, we going to Minnesota. That's going to be tough to play Minnesota with it, but they traded everybody, including their closer.
It's
which
home,
we got.
though, right?
It is home, yes.
Yeah,
so that's good.
They traded away some people there. But, I think our schedule's favorable. Like you said, we have a lot of home games. We play a lot of division games. I think we have the Mets once up there and then a 4-game homestand at home.
We got 2 huge, and that's going to be that Mets series is going to be really exciting.
Right.
So you're going to have everything's going to be on the line, right? And you're going to have the Mets fans come down here, be their obnoxious self. All right, so tonight we've got Suarez on the mound going up against Logan Gilbert. Logan Gilbert's a right-handed pitcher. Then on tomorrow, as of yesterday, they hadn't named the pitcher. Oh, here we go. So it's going to be Christopher Sanchez, which is good. And then we're going to have Bryce Miller, who's a right-hander with a 5.73 ERA. So, again, we're lucky we missed Wu. And then Wednesday's the day game. It's a 105. By the way, it's senior citizen stroll the bases after the game.
Oh, you going to do that?
Well, I was just going to ask you. Are you going to do that? All right? I know I'm older than you, but...
You're a lot older than
I'm
me.
not a lot.
Well, you're like 65 or something, aren't you?
I'm not 60. So the sad part is we had the promotion that it's 55 and over.
Oh, then we both make
it's
it.
It's 55 and over. And I remember 5 years ago I qualified. I'm like, man, well, since when am I a senior citizen? So
I thought senior citizen was like 65.
Right. Well,
62 at least.
To me, senior citizen is when you get to hit from the senior tees.
Exactly.
And when is that?
Well, it varies with courses, but at least I think it's around 60 to 62 there, I would imagine.
Can you make it 62?
Yeah, we'll make it 62.
I refuse to hit from the senior tees. All right, and then on Wednesday during the day game, we got Luis Castillo, right-handed pitcher. We got all right-handed pitchers, which I think is good, right? Do you think we do better against right-handed pitchers than lefties?
Yes.
Right, because you obviously got Schwarber. Schwarber's been hitting both.
Yeah, Harper and Schwarber hit both, so.
Yeah, so it doesn't really matter, I guess. So, again, that's Castillo versus Luzardo, so that should be a good matchup. And then we have a day off on Thursday, and then we've got the Nationals coming in, and it's going to be that same matchup, Cavalli, the young pitcher that hopefully we've
learned something.
Right. And yes, so hopefully I see us rebounding right there. We missed Mackenzie Gore, and he's going to be. The Nationals are playing the Mets this week, so they're going to get Mackenzie Gore.
Okay.
We face Parker, who we just lit up yesterday with Noel. A rematch of that. That's on Saturday, and then on Sunday, there you go.
There he is.
And Sunday we've got Irvin and Suarez going up. So we got the right-handed Irvin. So that
must be still on West Coast time, huh?
Yes. All right. Let's get our guest on here. What's up, Stock?
You like traffic?
Hang on. There we go. Traffic is amazing.
Isn't it great?
And the travel's been going on for a couple weeks, being on the planes and different cities.
Right. You were on a, 10-day road trip?
That was
tell us your travel schedule.
It depends how far back you want to go. So let's just go on this last trip. Okay. We were in Cincinnati.
Right.
So in Cincinnati, we play the 3 games. We go to the airport. We get on the airplane, ready to travel, head into D.C. We get on the plane, and we taxi out to the end of the runway. And then we taxi back. Couldn't make it. Mechanical. They come in, they fix it. We taxied 3 or 4 times to the end of the runway, had to turn around and come back. So we were on the plane for about 5 hours.
Wow.
From 10 to about 3:30, got off the plane, loaded 2 buses because we couldn't make it, drove all the way back to the hotels that we were at, got into the hotel. So it's me and Tom McCarthy. We didn't have rooms we didn't have enough. So at about 4:45, 5 in the morning, they sent us a few blocks up the street to a different hotel. There was about 10 of us. At 5 in the morning, we walked up the street, checked into a hotel, slept for 4 hours, back on the buses, back on the plane, flew to D.C., right to the ballpark.
Nobody was complaining on the plane, though, right?
right.
No.
And Jameson, poor Jameson Hall, who's our traveling secretary, who, if anything, if the bus is late or the plane is late and, everything's his fault, right? And he's the nicest guy in the world.
Yeah. Jameson and Mike, there's 2 of them.
And Mike, yep.
Yep, and Sean, who also does the equipment management. All those guys, I mean, I'll be honest with you, the players were really good.
Really?
Now, when we were told that we were not going to be going to D.C., the news was broke to us by Dave Dombrowski. It wasn't like Mike or Jameson were coming down telling the guys. He's like, "This is what we're going to do." The guys were really good. The players were great. I know when we were with
oh
gosh, no chance.
So
no
Frank,
chance.
Frank Koppenbarger was the traveling secretary then, right?
No,
you're right. It was
Eddie Ferenz.
Eddie, yeah.
Then Frank took over.
Yeah.
Right.
So it was a very trying time. Everybody was completely exhausted for that first game and day in at D.C. If you go back to the previous trip, which was the family trip, we got stuck in New York for 4 or 5 hours in their clubhouse because of travel, and then we had a 4-hour rain delay on the last day playing the White Sox. So the last couple of trips have been trying.
And that can affect the play on the field, right? When guys are off their routine, off their schedule, getting in late, not getting sleep, right?
It can. It's tougher. I don't know about you, Mick. I've never had it where we had to stay in the same city, like get off a plane and go back to where you're sleeping 4 hours and go in. It's one thing if you get in at 4 in the morning into the city, you can sleep longer all day. That's easier than trying to just come off a plane and play.
Right.
So for the most time, these guys are, more or less by game time, they're ready to go for 3 hours.
I think it would have been a little harder if it was a West Coast thing, where you're 3-hour time difference, and then you got to fly the whole way to the East Coast and play. But still, it's still kind of a pain in the butt.
It's a pain. It's just
it's more
really
of a pain
difficult.
in the butt than anything.
All right, before we go, we're going to go into your career. But before we do that, let's talk about the current team. Obviously there's no update on Zach Wheeler, right? It's just going to be a lot of tests. And, I mentioned just you're getting a lot of, I heard a doctor this morning on WIP, or they played some doctor, and nobody knows until
scared everybody to death. I'm
right.
Sure.
Nobody knows unless you're the and even the doctors probably now that have looked at Zach probably don't know yet. They're still working out, exactly. So we were just talking about, the situation. If Zach is out, which could be, right, this year, if he doesn't come back, do you start thinking about bringing up Andrew Painter? Because they were talking about a 6-man rotation. Do they still kind of, because we have a day off on Thursday, but after that day off, I don't think we have a day off for a long time.
That's right. There's another long stretch. And I just I don't know that Painter is ready. I just don't think that he's ready, and I'm not sure they want to put him in that position to come up. And I think he would struggle. And for me, I think it just goes back to the 5-man rotation and see if these guys can get rolling again. Yeah, it's going to be a hard stretch. And then you hope that no one else goes down with an injury or something like that. So I just think it's a little early to bring up Painter.
As far as the outfield, it looks like he's now he won't. I don't think Rob will say it's a platoon, but he's kind of doing some platoons similar to you guys. Your team worked the platoons perfectly, right?
Yeah.
As far as
he's waiting for someone to get hot.
Yeah,
what
right,
he's probably really doing.
Right.
Luckily, Castellanos yesterday had a couple of hits. Hopefully that
takes
him going a little bit. I don't think you can take him out of the lineup. You can rest him here and there a little bit. I think you got to keep him in the lineup because he's the one guy that can get hot and carry you for a little bit.
Yep.
It's what you do in left field is probably the big decision. And Marsh has been a little more consistent than Kepler has.
Well, Marsh has been great the last 45 days, whatever. And then Bader, talk about a guy that would have fit perfectly on the 93 team, right? I mean, he's got the look. He's got the
if
the
you
mullet.
go by looks,
the mullet. He looks like a fire hydrant, right? He's got the energy.
He looks like a fire hydrant. Is that what you just said?
He's jacked. He's like looks like a little like a wrestler.
He does look like a wrestler.
Looks like a wrestler.
Yeah. He does. He's and I've gotten to know him a little bit. His personality. He's real businesslike all the time. He plays 100% with a chip on his shoulder That's how he plays. He's talked about how that's how he was brought up, and that's just what he does. Super intense. He does a real nice job out in center field, just in what we have seen in closing on balls. He starts a little deeper.
Right.
He's kind of like Brandon. I think Brandon plays deep as well. But he seems to really close balls defensively. It's just going to be a matter of whether or not he can hit enough in a platoon situation, because I think he's going to be in and out of the lineup. And whether you call it a platoon or not, that's what's happening right now.
Right.
And I do agree. I think Castellanos is going to play. I don't see any reason that he's going to take him out. He will get hot. You just hope he's hot at the right time. Yep. That's the idea. So.
And how about tomorrow? Alvarado comes back, right? He's eligible tomorrow.
Yeah.
So it'll be really interesting, because if you think about the mentality, we know we can't pitch in the playoffs, right?
Correct.
And so normally you kind of want to baby somebody, or you want to protect the arm for, to make sure he's saved and reserved for the playoffs. Well, he's not playing the playoffs. And I'm not saying Rob's going to ride him like like he's got a 6-week rental, but he kind of has a 6-week rental. So, do you think he'll use him more? But also, you got to get everyone ready for their roles for the playoffs.
Right.
So it's kind of an interesting dynamic, right? How do you think that he'll use Alvarado?
He'll be the 6th starter.
Oh my gosh, Mick.
6th starter. You're throwing that out there.
No, I'm not throwing it out there.
When he can go, he'll be a starter. That'll be every game.
Now, he's allowed. I know he's been suspended, but he is allowed to throw in minor league games leading up, or no?
He's already done it.
He has done it. Okay.
Yeah.
So he's ready to go. He's ready to go.
And he's in shape, and he's actually. He must have been.
Well, he should be in shape. He took weight loss pills. He should be ready to go.
I meant to say baseball shape, but he's ready.
He's in pitching shape.
He's in pitching shape, and so everything's. But
how is he? That's pretty funny.
I like the starting situation. Should we get him as a 6th starter?
You just need him to throw 3 innings. That's all.
Okay.
And I don't know. I've ever seen him throw 2.
Well,
to be honest with you,
not.
yeah.
Probably
I don't know how they're going to use Alvy. He's going to come in. I mean, the bullpen instantly over the last 4 weeks has just changed tremendously in the back end, which is great.
Robertson's looked really good.
You know how I would use him? Say 5th, 6th, 7th inning, maybe not the 7th, 5th, 6th, 7th, maybe the 7th. When you're in a tight situation and you need a strikeout or something.
Right.
Use them then.
High leverage early.
High leverage early, yep. And then you got Robertson, you got Strom, you got Kirkring, and then you got the closer to finish out the game.
Right. Exactly. I think it looks pretty good. All right. Coming up in the show, Stock, let's go through your career. We'll talk about when you were a young stud back then with your double play partner right next to you. We are with our guest, Kevin Stocker. You're listening to Bull Session presented by BCWSA. We're live from Chickies and Pete's in South Philadelphia.
Hi, it's Pete from Chicky Pete's. Our selection of seasonal cocktails make any meal better. Come sip and enjoy our bourbon cherry lemonade, made with small batch bourbon, muddled fruits, and refreshing juices. What a winner! Is fruit your flavor? Try a watermelon shandy cocktail. A smoky grapefruit with mezcal and fresh lime. Or sip and enjoy a berry martini. All pair perfectly with our seasonal menu features. Come sip and enjoy at Chickies and Pete's.
Head out to Dion Square, located at South Oxford Valley and South Olds Boulevard, to get all your essentials in one place, with the following businesses ready to serve you: Pat Dion Beverages, CVS Pharmacy, Hair Cuttery, Smile Culture Dental, Biomat, Liberty Auto Tags, Pennsylvania Fine Wine and Spirits, Lee's Hoagie House, R&J Smoothies and Juices, AutoZone, and First National Bank and Trust of Newtown. Make Dion Square your one stop for all your shopping needs at South Oxford Valley Road and South Olds Boulevard in Fairless Hills.
With over 7,200 square feet of 200 brewers in stock at all times, Pat Dion Beverages now features 5 different flavors of their favorite slushy cocktails. You can also purchase all your wine, liquor, and other fine spirits right next door. Visit us on Facebook or online at patdionbeverages.com for upcoming events and samples from your favorite brewery or local food vendor.
Think banking hasn't changed? Think again. At Penn Community Bank, we've been helping communities thrive for 150 years. From our nationally recognized Access Checking that offers the peace of mind of no overdrafts, to student and free checking plus options with perks that will make you wonder what you did without them, like early direct deposit, overdraft grace, and Zelle. Learn more at PennCommunityBank.com/products. Penn Community Bank. Here we grow. Account and feature terms, restrictions, and conditions apply. Ask for full details. Member FDIC.
Head out to Dion Square, located at South Oxford Valley and South Olds Boulevard, to get all your essentials in one place, with the following businesses ready to serve you: Pat Dion Beverages, CVS Pharmacy, Hair Cuttery, Smile Culture Dental, Biomat, Liberty Auto Tags, Pennsylvania Fine Wine and Spirits, Lee's Hoagie House, R&J Smoothies and Juices, AutoZone, and First National Bank and Trust of Newtown. Make Dion Square your one stop for all your shopping needs at South Oxford Valley Road and South Olds Boulevard in Fairless Hills.
Think banking hasn't changed? Think again. At Penn Community Bank, we've been helping communities thrive for 150 years. From our nationally recognized Access Checking that offers the peace of mind of no overdrafts, to student and free checking plus options with perks that will make you wonder what you did without them, like early direct deposit, overdraft grace, and Zelle. Learn more at PennCommunityBank.com/products. Penn Community Bank. Here we grow. Account and feature terms, restrictions, and conditions apply. Ask for full details. Member FDIC.
Hi, it's Pete from Chicky Pete's. Our selection of seasonal cocktails make any meal better. Come sip and enjoy our bourbon cherry lemonade, made with small batch bourbon, muddled fruits, and refreshing juices. What a winner! Is fruit your flavor? Try a watermelon shandy cocktail, a smoky grapefruit with mezcal and fresh lime. Or sip and enjoy a very berry martini. All pair perfectly with our seasonal menu features. Come sip and enjoy at Chickies and Pete's.
We now return to Chickies and Pete's for the Bull Session. Once again, here are your hosts, Phillies Director of Fun and Games, John Brazer, and Mickey Morandini.
All right, we are back to the Bull Session presented by BCWSA, live from Chickies and Pete's, South Philadelphia. I'm John Brazer, joined by my co-host, Mickey Morandini.
There you go.
And our guest, Kevin Stocker. Now, Stock, I just realized something interesting. Ready? So you obviously came up with the Fightin' Phils. So you went from Macho Row to the Devil Rays, the Devils, then to the Angels. So you went from almost like the
wow, that's a stretch.
You almost went from the Devils to the Angels the Devils to the Devils to the Angels, right? Because you guys were kind of devils, right? Except for you two were the
devils.
You two were the exceptions.
We fit right into that team.
Yeah.
Now think about it. Like I love this question, but people always ask this down at fantasy camp. Who was the most normal guy on that team, right? Because you had a bunch of misfits,
Milt,
right? And it was
Milt.
Don't you think Milt?
It was Milt. I would say, because I worked that clubhouse the next year, '94, and it was Milt, it was Izzy, and you two. And I'm not sure you could pick another. Could you? Ricky Jordan.
Ricky Jordan.
That's 5. Can you go beyond 5?
Kim Batiste was pretty normal.
Yeah. What about on the pitching staff? We're not talking about it. You know what I mean? Like
Ben Rivera was normal.
Okay.
Ben was so quiet.
David West was fairly normal, I think.
No, he was crazy when he was away from the field. He was too much. He was with Larry all the time.
That's right. Yeah, right.
You know,
you can't count that. Even if he's normal, he got influenced by Larry. All right, so let's talk about your career. So you came over. You came up in '93, and tell the listening audience, what did Larry Boa tell you when you basically were brought up?
Yeah. So Larry, I got to the field. It took me a while to find it. I'd never been to Philly, so I finally get in here. I walk in and kind of get, my stuff on. And Larry came over, and he just stuck his finger in my chest. I can't say it word for word, Brace, but
right, sure.
He says, "Don't worry about hitting, just catch the bleeping ball." And
yes.
He's like poking me in the chest. And that's what he said.
And you knew you were going to be the shortstop, the job, and your job was basically, again,
it was funny because I had never been in that clubhouse. And you remember when the lineup was down the right side of the door? We had the tunnel that went down, and the lineup, Vuk would slide them in. And the lineup was up from the previous night. And I'm not in there. And I'm like, oh, this is sweet. I get a day to kind of take it easy and figure out where I'm in and everything. We go take batting practice, and I come in, and Vuk had taken athletic tape or something and put it over Bell's.
Juan Bell, yeah.
Somebody, and then wrote my name in the 8 spot. And so then
So Juan Bell was healthy. You just took his spot.
He got released, yeah.
Yeah,
I think he got,
very well.
Yeah.
All right, so your Major League debut, Mick, I don't know if you remember this, but his Major League debut in 1993 was July 7th at the Vet, right?
Yep.
The game went 6 hours and 10 minutes, and Stock over here in his debut played all 20 innings. In fact, he had 9 plate appearances in the game. You beat the Dodgers 7-6, but it was the most by any player in his Major League debut. I think as of 2020, no player had more than 7 in. So how about that? Plays 20 innings in his Major League debut. That's a lot.
Welcome to the big leagues.
Right? I was 0 for 6.
On turf, too.
On turf.
You weren't 0 for 6.
I was 0 for 6,
really?
brother. You didn't hear that? When I was 0 for 6.
And 3 walks?
I think I had walks. I had a sack bunt.
Okay.
I had a strikeout for sure. And I had a couple of ground outs with runners on second to win the game late.
To move them over.
But no, like 2 outs.
Oh,
and,
okay.
And I grounded out weekly.
But you caught the baseball.
I caught and I think I had an error.
Did you?
But I had like a saving play in the 9th. I mean, the beauty about the whole thing is we come in at 1:30 in the morning and high-fiving you. It's on the video. I high-fiving Craig. Everybody's happy. I take off everything except for my sliding pants. I'm in my underwear and my shirt and sliding pants. And Dennis Mankey, the hitting coach, taps me on the shoulder. And I look up. I'm all happy. And he goes, get a bat and get your ass in the manager's office. So I'm literally like, I've been here how many hours and I'm already in trouble.
Oh, wow.
Right.
So I go in the manager's office, and I've got my bat. We're all in flip-flops, underwear, and a T-shirt. And it was me, Boa, and Fregosi was in there. And Mankey was in there. And they're adjusting my swing, like moving my shoulders and doing all this.
After one game.
Yeah, after one game. And so they said, what do you do? Because I hadn't been doing very well in AAA offensively. And they'd seen something different from when they saw me in spring training. And they were like, you're doing this. And so they were making all these adjustments. Then I came in the next day early and tried all that stuff, and then I got 2 hits that night.
Well, didn't you tell Fregosi that Larry came up to you and said, you don't have to hit?
Right.
Yes, I did.
Right.
Oh.
You should have said that.
Are you kidding me? I was so scared. I didn't. Yes, sir. That's all I ever said.
Now, obviously, this is your double play partner.
Yeah.
Do you have to? Is there some synergies within that? Like, do you have to kind of get to know each other's style or not
we
really?
did in spring training. We got to know each other. We played very similarly that way defensively, and it was, for me, it made it so comfortable because he was easy to play with. He was easy to communicate with. We both were pretty communicative on the field. We like to talk, let everybody know. I mean,
I think the big thing is I know where he wants the ball in a double play. He knows where I wanted the ball. I know we always, when there was a ground ball hit to me or you, the other person would yell, stay down. Remember that? We would always yell, stay down.
Yeah.
Because, sometimes infielders like to come up and get the ball goes between your legs. And we did that consistently for the last, when we played together.
All the time.
All right, and what, I was kidding around by saying that you started with the Devil, then Angel. But what was it like, being assimilated into that clubhouse with Macho Rowe and a lot of the veterans that were in there? You had Mikey. You had 2 different people playing third base. You had Dave and you had Mike. Well, no, I guess it was Mikey playing third base and Dave before the game or after the game.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I learned about Mikey later. Yeah. Believe it or not, with Dave. Dave was great. Playing with Dave on the right side and getting in with those guys. They all knew me. They got to know me in spring training. That was a very tactical thing. I got to know Mick and the rest of the guys. They knew how I could play. Hollins, all he said, we got along really well. One, I didn't have any bats when I rolled in on the first day. I didn't have good. I was using the U1. Remember the U1?
Yeah,
Nicky knows.
Yep.
Awful bat. So I needed a big barrel bat. So I went to Dave and asked him, and he was great. He said, whatever you want. You just take whatever you want. I said, okay. So that was one way that I got bats. And then he said, you can have all the bats you want, but just make sure I don't want to catch any pop-ups at third. Don't.
Yeah, he did not like catching
No,
pop-ups.
he didn't like pop. He said, anything that you can get, you take.
Is that right?
And I said, okay.
Yeah.
So I was over there, and I would be screaming my head off, and he was like my
even
favorite
if
guy.
Even if it was literally above him,
Didn't matter.
If he's standing on third, you're still coming over.
Well,
there.
I mean, I was within reason, but if he had to back up a step or
if he had to
two,
move.
it was mine.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So, but we got along great, and those guys treated me well. So, yeah.
And then and your the coaching staff too. You mentioned a little bit, but you had, again, I dealt with it from a front office point of view, but you had some old school guys there. It's funny because now you've got, the nicest guys in the world. You got Paco and you got Dusty. Guys are just, super nice. And I'm not saying Vuk and Bo weren't nice. It's just they were old school. They weren't nice.
What's your take? I mean, what's your take?
Right.
My take on this whole team was we were a really loose group.
Right.
Until about 30 minutes before the ball game.
Right.
And it became very focused,
Right.
very intense. Dave Hollins would sit in front of his locker and not move his head for 30 minutes.
Yep.
And we took that focus out into the game every day.
Right.
And Macho Row is fine. Yes, Inky and
Right.
that big boys. But it was just a very focused team.
And you could almost say that you guys almost took the coaches out of the way a little bit in the sense that Darren was kind of the clubhouse leader and kind of was the den mom, was kind of the, right? And then you guys all hung in the locker room or in the trainer's room afterwards, and you talked baseball. You didn't talk whatever, you talked baseball. So you guys were almost like policed yourselves. And
oh, absolutely.
So, yes, the coaches are there to kind of make sure but you guys really police yourselves.
Yeah, for the most part. I was new, I was young. I played a position that Larry played, for example, Vuk as well. So those guys, I learned a lot from those guys quickly, and I had to learn quickly,
right?
Or else they'd let you know for sure.
Yeah,
but
it's different back when we played. When you came into the clubhouse, you had to earn respect. I remember 2 weeks into my rookie season, no one talked to me in the clubhouse.
Right.
And then I went out, played every day, hustled, did those, and then they finally accepted me. Nowadays, I don't know. You might know more than I am, but you're the man when you walk into that clubhouse now. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
You don't have to earn anything anymore.
All right, coming up in the show, our last segment, we will talk. Kevin, continue to talk. We'll go more into that '93 season, and we'll talk about your announcing. How you're. I was telling Mick before when you're stuck in traffic, I said you really come. I thought you started off great anyway, and you had a lot of experience working the Pac-10 and CBS. But I tell you what, Kevin, I think you're really coming into your own. I'm not just saying
you're
that.
very
so
kind. Yeah, thank you.
It's been
I
really
got
fun
something to
listening
say about that.
So, all right, we'll talk about the season, but we'll get more in the announcing on that part. You're listening to the Bull Session presented by BCWSA. We are live from Chickies and Pete's in South Philadelphia.
Hi, it's Pete from Chicky Pete's. Our selection of seasonal cocktails make any meal better. Come sip and enjoy our bourbon cherry lemonade, made with small batch bourbon, muddled fruits, and refreshing juices. What a winner! Is fruit your flavor? Try a watermelon shandy cocktail. A smoky grapefruit with mezcal and fresh lime. Or sip and enjoy a very berry martini. All pair perfectly with our seasonal menu features. Come sip and enjoy at Chickies and Pete's.
Head out to Dion Square, located at South Oxford Valley and South Olds Boulevard, to get all your essentials in one place, with the following businesses ready to serve you: Pat Dion Beverages, CVS Pharmacy, Hair Cuttery, Smile Culture Dental, Biomat, Liberty Auto Tags, Pennsylvania Fine Wine and Spirits, Lee's Hoagie House, R&J Smoothies and Juices, AutoZone, and First National Bank and Trust of Newtown. Make Dion Square your one stop for all your shopping needs at South Oxford Valley Road and South Olds Boulevard in Fairless Hills.
With over 7,200 square feet of 200 brewers in stock at all times, Pat Dion Beverages now features 5 different flavors of their favorite slushy cocktails. You can also purchase all your wine, liquor, and other fine spirits right next door. Visit us on Facebook or online at patdionbeverages.com for upcoming events and samples from your favorite brewery or local food vendor.
Think banking hasn't changed? Think again. At Penn Community Bank, we've been helping communities thrive for 150 years. From our nationally recognized Access Checking that offers the peace of mind of no overdrafts, to student and free checking plus options with perks that will make you wonder what you did without them, like early direct deposit, overdraft grace, and Zelle. Learn more at PennCommunityBank.com/products. Penn Community Bank. Here we grow. Account and feature terms, restrictions, and conditions apply. Ask for full details. Member FDIC.
We now return to Chickies and Pete's for the Bull Session. Once again, here are your hosts, Phillies Director of Fun and Games, John Brazer, and Mickey Morandini.
All right, we're back to the Bull Session presented by BCWSA, live from Chickies and Pete's in South Philadelphia. I'm John Brazer, joined my co-host, Mickey Morandini. Kevin, do you say, and Kevin Stogger, Do you, when you say Mickey's name, do you kind of say it like
No, he says
Harry Callis?
When he mentions my name on the radio, he goes, Morandini. That's all he says.
Morandini.
Yeah.
You know, Morandini today, or Smother, one or the
Smother.
other. You know,
Smother?
I always use that reference.
That was your nickname?
Well, because I would.
Right, you smother the ball.
Yeah, but smother.
The ball,
Make sure
he
it
understood it was running. He understood where he was at.
Yeah.
It's an easy game when you watched him play. And I'm like, and I use the reference all the time.
I mean, Smother's a better nickname than like Leaky, right? if you're a second baseman and your name was Leaky.
don't
I
wanna
haven't
be
thought
leaky.
about that one. That's a good one.
That wouldn't
You
be a
don't
good
wanna
one,
be
right?
leaky.
You don't want to be Leaky.
No, you don't
Leaky
wanna be
Morandini. It
not
kind of
good.
goes though, right?
Yeah, well.
All right, last question on that 93, and then I really want to get on.
Okay.
I mean, that run was just that is the most beloved team for a team that didn't win the World Series. I almost feel like you guys are as popular, if not a little more popular, than some of the teams of the four major sports that actually won the championship. I mean, if you guys had won that championship, it would be like the Flyers' first championship where people just went and they're just living glory forever in Philadelphia. But that was, even coming short, that was just it was almost everyone's favorite team watching that team.
It was special. I mean, it was special for me, obviously, because it was my rookie year, and then I got to come in and learn the game from these older guys. But also how to stay loose, like Mickey said, how to stay loose and still be able to focus for the game and go out there and play the game the right way and play hard and then have fun away from the field. I had a different kind of fun than a lot of the guys, but that's fine, you know. But we loved the game. We went out and played hard. Everybody had their personality. We respected that personality. We didn't try to change anybody. And, it was just a really fun team.
And back then, would you have ever thought that, all right, take yourself back in 93, did you ever thought that John Kruk would be your broadcast, you're not on TV, but would ever be, you'd be on the same broadcast team as John Kruk?
Not then, of course. I don't think that I thought I would be broadcasting, but to be with John. John's the same, though.
Right.
In the sense
He is.
He shows up, he lays on the couch, he goes, does his work, he lays on the couch, he goes home.
Make some funny
Throws in a
comments.
few energy
Right.
drinks. In the middle.
Right.
Yeah, it's so funny. On the first game I worked years back, going into Atlanta on the road, we were walking. We parked in the whole team, and I'm walking with John into the stadium, and he had a backpack, and we were talking. And I go, John, what do you have in the backpack? I don't see you doing a lot of prep. And he goes, let me show you. He unzips it, and he had an apple. There was nothing in the backpack.
Just an apple.
But an apple. And now when you ask him, he's like, I got this. And it's just energy drinks, maybe a bag of potato chips, and that's it. There's no paper. There's no prep. There might be a pen. I mean, he does it his own way on the phone, whatever. But he gets it done.
I mean, did you watch when he was, before he was a broadcaster, remember he would go on with Letterman? And
I've seen those.
Remember,
yeah.
like,
yes, yeah.
And it just, you guys saw that humor, but that's when the nation really first saw the humor, right?
Yeah.
Because they didn't get the every day with him, and now as a broadcaster, Philadelphia fans are lucky to hear that. And then how about the other one, Larry Anderson, one of my favorite people on this earth. As a broadcaster, I know you don't really work with him because you're
just in the playoffs.
In the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess you could see Larry doing this because Larry, obviously his personality is off the charts.
Yeah, I mean, Larry's his personality is easygoing. He's funny. He has a lot of funny things to say. He can talk about the game, but he'd rather not. He talks about
umpires.
Loves umpires. Loves them.
He loves traffic umpires, rain
I
delays.
I have friends. I'll be doing the game, and I'll have friends, and we'll talk about, that ball was missed. But I don't really, it's a hard thing to do back there. I don't really get, you miss with that sort of thing. Right away, some of my friends are texting me like, if that was Larry, you'd be on. And I'm like, well, I don't
but
do
I'm
that.
not Larry.
Yeah,
right.
like, no. I'm just like, hey, man.
And for those that didn't know, that don't know, you basically have been a broadcaster for a long time before you took the Phillies job.
Yep.
You did CBS, I believe, first, right? And then you did Pac-10?
So it's all at the same time. College baseball since 2002. So CBS College Sports, ESPN, and then Pac-12. I did that for years because I lived up in the Northwest.
Yep.
Those three kept me very busy up until COVID. And then COVID canceled all of college sports. And I was like, that's probably good. I'm probably had a nice run. I'll be fine. And that's when the Phillies started calling.
How long did it take you to, and maybe it was that first year doing it, where you felt comfortable, like where you felt really like yourself?
Yeah, it didn't take long. It didn't take long. I finally had decided, and believe it or not, Brooke, my wife, was great at this. I would ask questions. She's like, look, man, when you go on there, and this is what I do, When I broadcast, I make sure whatever I say is what I believe in the truth.
Right.
That way, if somebody calls me on, I'm like, well, I don't have to, you don't make anything up. You just be yourself. Well, I had no problem talking about baseball. But talking about baseball, Mickey's the same way. You want to talk baseball, I'll do that forever.
Right.
Okay? So that part was easy. I just asked a lot, and I'm not afraid to ask a lot of questions. So when I first started, my very first game was the greatest thing ever because my first game that I ever did, college baseball, was San Diego State, coached by Tony Gwynn, versus the University of Houston. And it was the first game ever at Petco Park in San Diego. They opened the park with a college game. They wanted Tony Gwynn to open it. That was my first game. So I was comfortable with Tony, and Tony was a broadcaster, and we could talk. We had him on the TV. We had him. It was great. 40-plus thousand fans, largest game ever for college baseball. The next week, I was at Pepperdine, sitting in the bleachers underneath the tent, and it was just parents and girlfriends watching the game. I was like, oh, this is what it's going to be like. So there really wasn't a lot of pressure. The kids were very approachable then. So I got to learn in that process, and it was easy. It was great.
And then working with Fransky, obviously, again, as I said earlier.
It's a struggle. It's a real struggle.
I mean, I think, the Philadelphia fans kind of, I don't know if we take for granted what we have right now, because back in the day we had Harry and Whitey, which were a great pair, a Hall of Fame pair together, and then you have Larry and Fransky, and then you and Fransky, and then on the TV side, you need that role of Fransky or T-Mac on the TV side is so important. It's like being a point guard that you've got to basically elevate to you guys, to the analysts, right? And it's not an easy job for them to do.
Right.
But both T-Mac and Fransky make it. I'm sure they make it easy on the analysts because they set you up, right? They'll
they
tee
do
you
for
up.
the most part. They're very different animals in the sense of, think of it. This is how I think of it. In television, the analyst is the guy, because you have a lot of time to fill. Like, you don't have to be talking about every pitch. You can just let it play. You can go 2-3 pitches and not say a word, and the fan is entertained. So the analyst has time to do replays, and let's talk about how they're doing the cutoffs and relays, this throw, whatever it is. The radio side, it's reversed. The play-by-play guy is the man. He talks more. He has to paint the picture on every pitch.
Right.
And here comes the pitch. Morandini, let's say Mickey was pitching. Mickey Morandini, here's the windup, the pitch. You can't miss the pitch. So it becomes a challenge, and it took me a while to learn how to interject, how and when to pause, how to make this work. It's very different. And so and Scott was really good in helping me and educating me on how to jump in, when to. And then he got to learn me, too. And sometimes I try as hard as I can to bring some different things into the show that maybe don't have to do with the game. Maybe it's something about 93. Maybe it's something. So that way I can bring it up when the game gets long, the inning is long. Pitch clock, the pitch timer now has made it quicker, made it tougher to tell stories on the radio, but we manage, and that's because Scott gives the flexibility to do that. Not all guys would do that.
You have a sense of humor when you do the radio.
Try to.
You had no sense of humor when you played. Where'd that come from?
Well, it's because I was trying to. What's wrong with you, boy? Maybe I was too serious when I played. I actually, if I could go back, I probably would loosen up a little bit.
I always say that. I wish I would have enjoyed playing more.
Well,
Totally.
Again, you're doing your job. So
yeah.
All right, last question before we go. Your favorite interview and the most awkward interview you've done in your career.
Well, the most awkward is easy. Most awkward. I had to do a pre and post with Nick Castellanos.
Okay.
And Nick's very particular. I didn't know Nick, and I introduced myself, and I just had to do 3 questions for the pregame. So he was like, "Yeah, I'll do that." I said, "All right." So I asked my first question out in Seattle. My question was something like, "Came off a good homestand. It must feel really nice to have your number 1 pitcher back in Wheeler." And he answered, "It does."
That's it.
And so I knew I was in trouble.
Right.
So I learned real quick with Nick. That was awkward because I had to make sure my questions were very specific.
Not yes or no.
No, but you have to. He wants to ask me a specific thing. And then that was probably there. I couldn't tell you my best interview. I mean, I've done a few, a lot of fun ones have been good and easy to do. It's getting easier. I don't know who the most fun is. So
we'll say Mickey Morandini. All right.
You're my next interview.
There you go.
And that wraps up this week's Bull Session presented by BCWSA. I'd like to thank my co-host, Mickey Morandini. Our guest today, Kevin Stocker, back to the studio. What do we got? Gus Barber, our on-set engineer, Chris Ermer. Thanks also to Pete Cherokee, the great staff here at Chickies and Pete's in South Philly. We're going to be back next Monday, but I'm with Tommy Green at 6 o'clock at Chickies and Pete's in Audubon, PA. We're hoping to have former Phillies great Bobby Wine is going to be our guest. Have a great week, and as the late, great Harry the K says,
Out of here.